Good morning everyone, we're here on Paseka Beach and you'll see the residents are still enjoying it. It's just before 6 AM. They are swimming here. There's a sign saying it's not allowed because the water isn't considered safe yet. You can see there is quite a bit of trash on the beach. Unfortunately, I'm pretty sure that some of this trash has come from people who came to enjoy the beach and then kind of left it behind, and some of it has just been washed in from the bay. For example, here you can see someone's had a fire and then perhaps they had an ice cream or something like that, and I do think some people are leaving their trash behind, so that's something that also has to be worked on, because if people continue to leave their litter here, the problem's never going to be fixed. And further along the beach I can see a trash pile, and it looks like someone actually burned this, or at least they tried to. It hasn't burned very well, but it's still a little bit crispy on top. That's pretty much not allowed, burning trash. It's considered as illegal now. Anyway, the volunteers will arrive soon and the cleanup will begin. And today I'll be testing out this little tool that I made. It's based on something that I saw on YouTube, and you can see it's got netting all the way around. Ideally that would be a metal grill, but this is the best I could do for now. The total cost of this device with the angle bar and the bolts and everything like that is around 120 pesos. You could replicate it cheaper and easier. Instead of using bolts, you could weld it and things like that. The idea is that you pull it along in the sand, everything goes inside, and then the sand will fall through, but the trash will remain. But there is a little problem with it at the moment. When I pull it along, the sand is only going as far as the front edge because my net is a bit too long. So I'm going to try and cut this back now and see if it can be more effective. It's not quite working as well as I wanted. I think I need to make the edge better, get the angle right, but I guess the basic proof of concept is there. It's separating the plastics from the sand. It's also capturing some stones, so maybe the netting would have to be a little bit bigger. Honestly, it's not quite perfect yet, but it's an early prototype. I'm sad to say this actually took me around 7 hours to build because I'm not very good at making stuff. So I'm a little bit disappointed, but it was worth a try and I think I can make improvements. Now of course the thing with this tool, the handle should be much longer. The reason why I made it short is so it's easier to transport during testing. So that's why I'm kind of bent over. In the long run this would have a long handle and you would be able to just pull it along behind you. So again, it's not perfect. This angle is wrong. I've tried it flat, I've tried it down, I've tried it up. Something's just not quite right with this, but again you've got lots of plastics, especially the smaller ones. You've got zip ties, all kinds of trash. So basic principle, it works, but the design itself, just something isn't right. So I will have to improve this, but there's another plan. Let me show you. So this is my other idea, a net bag that you fill up with trash and then shake, and same principle as the last one. Now I saw some MMDA using something like this last week. That's where I got the idea. It might be easier if you can use a potato bag or an onion bag. I couldn't find any, so I actually made this myself. I got some netting and then I kind of sewed it with some rope. Anyway, let's try it out and see if it works. So we fill it, we shake it, and you can see all of the sand has fallen through, but left behind we have lots of plastics. We have a shoe, we have many microplastics. This idea is a bit simpler, and honestly it probably works a little bit better. What you could do is you could get a shovel, shovel it in there. And actually it's quite an easy way to separate the trash from the sand. You can see there I've got a bag full. I can transfer this to another bag and then redo this. So actually it works quite well. So I just walked back to the opening of the beach and you can see there are volunteers already cleaning up trash. Not many here yet. I hope more arrive later. So I just spoke to them now. They're actually school teachers. One of the teachers found something unusual. Can you show us again? You're gonna go racing. You see over here digging more stuff out of the sand because a lot of it is unfortunately under the sand. That's why a lot of people have been suggesting to bring heavy equipment here and dig up the sand. And there's a man here preparing to go out on his raft, go catch some fish. It looks heavier than I expected. It's made of bamboo and styrofoam and bits of wood. But it floats, it gets them there, lets them catch fish, earn a simple living or earn a lunch. So over here we have the assistant principal for Abad Santos Senior High School. What's going on today?
Today we are having our cleanup drive, and some of our teachers and students from Jose Abad Santos are coming here to do the cleanup drive. One of the core values of the Department of Education, which is makakalikasan, or in English it is called nature loving. And also in the Code of Ethics of Professional Teachers, it says there that every teacher is an intellectual leader in the community, which means that aside from our role as a teacher inside the classroom, we need to extend to the community, to show to the community our concern, and also to share our knowledge. We participate in this activity to show our love for our country, to show our concern for the community, and also to foster leadership among our students, because they are the future of our nation. As what our national hero said, Dr. Jose Rizal, that the youth is the hope of our fatherland. And in this way, or in this manner, we can teach them to be a good leader someday in our nation.
So you're from the local school. Which school?
Yes, from Francisco Benitez Elementary School, District of Manila. Yes, we are all elementary public school teachers. Say hi, everybody. Hi. Personally, we are all happy because before, there are lots of garbage here, but we have seen a lot of improvements already, and hopefully for the more years to come, yes, this place will be more cleaner and maybe fit for swimming activities.
So I'm now on Manila Bay Walk. You can see the MMDA have actually installed a bike rack here so people can secure their bicycles. You see the DPWH have their heavy equipment here because they've been doing desilting. So here's a closer look at the heavy equipment being used, and these are the containers that they're putting it in. The scale just doesn't show very well on camera because these things are huge. In fact, there's 4 of them. Last time I was here there was only 3 of them. Now there's 4. They're just ginormous, and these containers are ginormous. If you look at this one, you'll see it's got tires on the side. The reason for that is this actually goes out in the water and it floats, so they can tug this out to wherever they need to do the desilting, dig it up, put it in here, and then tug it back in to get rid of the waste. So that's why it has tires on, so that if it bumps up against other ships or other items, it hopefully won't crush them. And I can see they did actually break down parts of the wall for access. That's something I was asking last week. Instead of tugging the heavy equipment all the way from Baseco Beach, wouldn't it be easier just to break down a little bit of the wall so they can get access? Because this is easy to rebuild. There's nothing special about this wall as far as I know. It's just a concrete wall. So I guess they've done that, and now they have easy access to get heavy equipment on and off, although they've got a lot of rocks here at the moment. I'm not sure where they came from. Now unfortunately volunteers don't have access to the beach right now, at least not this section, because of the heavy machinery, and I can see there's already a lot of trash on here. Maybe it's been washed up, and that's something that really has to be worked on, because collecting trash, cleaning trash, that's one thing, but also getting people to stop throwing their trash in the water in the first place, that's another thing. Some of it comes from squatters that live along the waterways. Some of it comes from where people have just thrown it on the ground and it's gone into the sewers and then it's made it onto the bay. So that's something that they're also working on. I think the MMDA already said they're going to be deploying more teams of anti-littering personnel, HP SEPO. And in fact, talking about the anti-littering group, here they are now, and they have very fluorescent jackets, so it's easy to recognize them. What's the penalty if you're caught littering?
Oh, they have 2 options.
2 options.
First one is pay fine 500 pesos.
500 peso fine.
Second is community service.
How many hours community service?
8 hours.
8 hours. Okay, thank you very much. And this is what they've been giving out to people as they walk along. It explains the penalties for littering and why it shouldn't be done, as well as urinating, spitting, things like that. This is actually a fan. You just use it to cool yourself down and it folds up. It's a simple item, but if people carry them around and they read it, it could actually make a difference. And this is new. They've installed a fence all the way along to keep people away from the bay, I guess, while the rehabilitation is ongoing. So you can see they bolted it to the ground and then welded the fence pieces into place. Interesting. So down the other end here you'll see there's a gate where volunteers can get access during cleanup, and there's a lot of volunteers here today, especially students, a lot of students, which is very good to see. So let's take a look around. You'll see there's already a number of bags of trash that's being collected, and under the walkway here is some kind of sewer. I think they were the ones that actually pulled this up and made access so that you can remove trash from under here. SDI Cabal, excellent. What time did you go here this morning? 7 a.m. Down here we have one volunteer just by herself, digging down, getting trash and putting in a bag. That's good. Over here we have another lady digging down nice and deep. That's hard work. That's dedication also, sticking your arm between the rocks to try and pick up some trash. Although it might be easier if she could get some tongs from the MMDA. Let's go give her a hand. Is that a rope there? You want to pull it together?
Yes.
See if we can get it. Oh, it's tough, huh?
Yeah.
Might need a knife.
Yes.
Fishing net maybe?
Yeah. I think so.
Let's try and give it a pull. Ready? No, it's really stuck between the rocks.
I get what I get.
Yeah, that's true. You get what you get. As long as you try and get what you can. Okay, good luck. Over here more volunteers. They all have gloves as well, which is good. Protect the hands. And over here another group of volunteers digging between the rocks. They told me they saw someone fall earlier. That's one of the reasons why I'm carrying the first aid kit I got from Mercury Drug, just in case anyone needs first aid attention. Oh, someone over here digging through the soil and then getting the trash out. That's good. Over here is the vendor association. They're here every weekend cleaning up trash, which is good because a lot of the trash does come from vendors in the area, and some of the volunteers are now dragging their collected trash back to the main point. And you may remember this family from my last video. Hey, you're here again. How many times have you been here? 6 times. It's a good family activity. You see the cleanup continues over here. It looks like they pulled a shirt or something else out of the rocks. Lots of students here. That's really good to see, really good to see, because you need a lot of people to do this cleanup. You cannot do it with just the MMDA or just the BFB or just the DNR. They need help from the public, and there's a lot of students, so that's great. Some of the volunteers were saying there's not too much to do here, and I said they should go to Baseco Beach. It's only around 15 minutes away, and there's so much trash to clean up there. There's a gentleman here with a fishing rod also. Said he hasn't caught anything so far, but I think he's only just arrived. You see more students here digging through the soil to remove the plastics. This is where my shaky bag would come in useful, because you could put all the soil in there, shake it, that would fall through and the trash would remain. Over here is another group of students that just arrived. They're from Republican College, which is in Cabal. They're just preparing everything, and then they're going to go in here and start cleaning up trash. I was just looking through the trash to see if there's anything interesting here or anything useful, and I see someone threw gloves away. These are still okay. These are good condition. These are not a one-time glove. This is a good glove. I'm going to keep this. It looks like the workers are going to do some repairs. Also, they have their welding here, because I did see some of the welds have already broken. One of the ladies from the vendor group said they saw something being polluted into the water, and she wants us to inspect it. So let's go see. And bad news, I just fell into one of the holes and bashed my leg really hard, bashed my camera really hard, because I was trying to shoot a video of someone else. I wasn't watching where I was going, fell into the hole. Pretty sure I'm gonna have a massive bruise there later. I'm not sure about my camera, but I think it's also damaged because the lens isn't going in and out properly, and I cannot afford to buy a new camera. And I just noticed I ripped my jeans also. Looks like I've also cut my leg here. Good thing I had my socks pulled up high, so it gave a little bit of protection. So this is where they wanted to show me. Let's take a look. So it's flowing from here.
Flowing through the Manila Bay.
Interesting. Oh yeah, it's kind of misty. Interesting. So I wonder where that's coming from. There's some kind of sewer or something. If you look, that's the wall there. Obviously someone's noticed this already, because they painted a line here. So someone's waste is coming down here and then dumping straight into the bay. Interesting. You can see all the water is going cloudy here, and also my hand, by the way, looks like I've cut that, so I guess I'll be the first one to use the first aid kit. So I'm going to clean off my wounds now. I think I'm going to have a pretty big bruise here. In fact, it's already starting to come up. And now I have assistance also, just removing a little stone from my cut here. And on my side here, looks like I've got a bit of a scrape also. So I've been testing my camera, turning it on and off because the lens goes in and out automatically. Earlier it was a little bit stiff, now it seems to be okay, so I'm hoping that it's really okay. Canon Philippines in the past have said that if I have problems with my cameras, they'd be willing to help. So maybe I might have to ask them one day, hey, can you please help me fix my camera, because it's just too expensive to replace. And down here digging through all of this soil, there's actually a lot of trash here and it's a lot safer than the rocks, so maybe this is a good starting point. And then further along the beach where it's flat instead of rocky like this, and Baseco Beach. Over here you'll see someone hard at work giving a massage. So back at the MMDA tent now, they were just explaining to me every single day they have to inventory their stuff and also test that it's still working, because they have a lot of machinery here. You can see cutters, emergency cutters, all kinds of stuff, and they'll actually start up every single one of them and make sure it's still working. And that's good because a lot of the time items aren't maintained. So generator, check it, the cutters, check them, everything, make sure it's working, all the tools, make sure they're there, and they're making a note on paper. So if anything ever goes missing or something breaks, they know already, okay, it happened here, we need to get this fixed, we need to be ready for emergencies. So thumbs up. And in comes some trucks now from the DPWH. I haven't actually seen the diggers in action yet doing the desilting. I would like to. The DPWH must have a very healthy budget because they got 4 of those big, I don't know what they're called, to be honest. I'm not really very smart when it comes to construction, but they got 4 of those big heavy crane thingies, and then they've got these brand new trucks. Looks good. Hopefully everything will be maintained as well, so they can use these for many years to come. So I just spoke to the person in charge from DPWH. He explained that they actually have 5 of those heavy machines that have the diggers on them, and they're going to aim for 150 meters going out, desilting, so the first 150 meters between the sand and the water, and then maybe that's going to take around 90 days. After that they'll go out further, but it will be selective, so they're really going for the trash. So yeah, a lot of work, but as long as they do it every single day, I think they can get a lot done. And you'll see more fencing is actually being installed over here. I guess it's to stop people from walking through and damaging the plants and the trees and things like that. You can see over here they've already started bolting them in, painting them, and yeah, I guess they're going to weld to them soon. Here's a sign about the equipment: heavy, amphibious and dredging equipment. So I'm now back on Paseka Beach. It's around 10 AM. There's no more volunteers here. I guess they've already finished for the day. There's just local residents enjoying the beach, and that is the goal, is to make this safe and clean for everyone to enjoy. But I think some of the volunteers from the Baywalk, they could probably go here because it's a very easy area to clean. You don't have to worry about the rocks. It's very easy, very simple. You just need a lot of people. So maybe next week, for those volunteers that are watching this, you might consider coming to Baseco Beach because there's a lot of work to do here also. And yeah, more volunteers the better, really. I'm now back at Estero de Magdalena, where a lot of these informal settlers have actually been relocated, but there's still some here that need to be relocated. It's a little bit difficult because you have to find a city that's willing to accept them, give them somewhere to live. There has to be a school nearby and a market and things like that. You can see there's some heavy equipment here. I guess they've been digging a way through, because before water couldn't pass through here, and then they made a small little space last time where water could flow, and I guess this time they've been digging deeper. I guess they're probably gonna have to take away all of this stuff they dug up. You can see there's so much wood and trash and things like that that have been collected over the years. Wow, it's amazing. Oh, look how open it is here. Incredible. Wow, last time there was just a tiny little stream that they made through the middle, and the barangay were actually here cleaning up the trash. And look at it now, wow. Although this used to be much lower. Before, this was a big step up. Now this is level. So I guess most of the soil that they dug out here, they've placed here. So all of this will need to be taken away. I'm sure it's full of trash. But yeah, it's progress. This kind of thing doesn't happen overnight, but it is progress. Things are being done, and that's quite frustrating. I just saw a resident throw a bunch of trash out of their house onto here, and unfortunately that's the truth. That's where a lot of this trash came from. People that live along the water, instead of putting it in a bag and letting the city garbage take it away, they just throw it here. They don't care.